She was widowed twice. She was lied to by her father-in-law. She was sent home like trash. Society had written her off. And yet, God chose her. Not in spite of her story, but actually because of it. Today, we're going deep into one of the most misunderstood, most skipped over chapters in all of the Bible, Genesis 38, the story of a woman named Tamar. And I promise you, by the time we're done, you'll never see your own waiting season, your own shame, your own unanswered prayers the same way again. Stay with me. This one will shake you. Type Tamar in the comments right now if you've ever been overlooked, underestimated, or written off. Let's see how many of us are in this room together. To understand Tamar, you have to understand the world she lived in. In ancient Near Eastern culture, a woman's entire identity, her worth, her security, her future was tied to one thing, her husband. If your husband died, you had virtually nothing. No inheritance, no voice, no power. Now, Judah, one of the 12 sons of Jacob, one of the patriarchs called Israel, had 3 sons, Onan, and Shelah. He arranged a marriage between his firstborn, and a woman named Tamar. The Bible tells us in Genesis 38, verse 7, that was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord put him to death. Just like that, Tamar is a widow. Genesis 38, verse 7, but Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord put him to death. Now here's where the custom called levirate marriage comes in. Under this law, if a man died without children, his brother was obligated to marry the widow, to raise up children in the dead brother's name and preserve the family line. Judah tells his second son, Onan, "Go in to your brother's wife, fulfill your duty." But Onan refused to give Tamar a child. He selfishly took what he wanted from her, but denied her the protection and legacy she deserved. And God judged him for it too, by putting him to death. Tamar has now lost 2 husbands. She has done nothing wrong, and nobody's asking how she's doing. Days, then months, then years passing. Now Judah has 1 son left, Shelah, and according to the law, he should have given Shelah to Tamar as a husband to protect her and continue the family line. But Judah hesitates. Why? Genesis 38, verse 11 tells us he was afraid Shelah would die too. He blamed Tamar. In his mind, she was the problem. She was bad luck, cursed even. So what does Judah do? He sends Tamar back to her father's house in widow's clothes, telling her, "Wait until my son Shelah grows up." But it was a lie wrapped in a promise. He had no intention of giving her Shelah. He was just getting rid of her. Have you ever been given a promise that was really just a dismissal? We'll call you. Just wait. Your time is coming. But deep down, you could feel it. They had already moved on without you. That is exactly what happened to Tamar. She was sitting at home in widow's clothes, year after year. Shelah grew up, and Judah never called, never sent a messenger, never came through on his word. She was invisible, forgotten, put on a shelf labeled problem, and left there. Give a like if you've been in a season where God felt silent and people had forgotten about you. You are not alone in this. Here's what I want you to understand. The waiting was not wasted. In the economy of God, no season of obscurity is ever without purpose. But here's the hard truth. Tamar had to decide, would she accept the false narrative that people had written about her, or would she trust that God had not forgotten her? The Bible doesn't tell us what Tamar was praying during those years, but her actions tell us everything. She was watching. She was thinking. She was preparing. When Judah's wife died and he went to Timnah for a sheep-shearing festival, Tamar heard, and she formed a plan. Now listen, what she does next is controversial. It's the part that makes people uncomfortable, but don't run from it. God has something to say right in the middle of it. Tamar took off her widow's garments, those clothes that marked her as forgotten, as invisible. She covered herself with a veil and sat at the crossroads on the road to Timnah, disguising herself as a shrine prostitute. When Judah passed, he didn't recognize her. He propositioned her. She asked for his pledge, his seal, his cord, his staff, the most identifiable personal items a man could carry. He gave them. They were together, and then she disappeared. 3 months later, word reached Judah. Tamar, your daughter-in-law, has been immoral. She is pregnant as a result of immorality. And Judah, the man who had denied her a husband, the man who had broken his own promise, the man who had treated her like a burden, immediately declared, "Bring her out and let her be burned." Burned, death by fire, for doing the very thing that his own culture said a widow had a right to pursue because he had denied her that right through legitimate means. Then, the man who judged her was the man who was guilty. Isn't that always how it goes? The loudest accusers are often hiding the deepest secrets. As Tamar was brought out to be executed, she sent a message to Judah, not a shout, not a public accusation, a quiet, dignified message. She sent him the seal, the cord, and the staff, and said, "The man to whom these belong is the father. Please identify whose are these." And right there, in the most dramatic moment in all of Genesis 38, Judah looked at his own possessions and said words that would echo through history. "She is more righteous than I." Genesis 38:26, then Judah identified them and said, "She is more righteous than I, since I did not give her to my son Shelah." Share this video with someone who needs to know. God sees every injustice done to you, every single one. Hit that share button right now. This message is for someone in your circle. Tamar gave birth to twin boys, Perez and Zerah. And here is where everything shifts. Here is where God drops the plot twist that nobody saw coming. Fast forward hundreds of years, a carpenter named Joseph in the line of King David is recorded in the most important genealogy in all of human history, the lineage of Jesus Christ. And right there in Matthew 1:3, in the family tree of the Son of God, you will find the name Tamar. Matthew 1:3, Judah, the father of Perez and Zerah, whose mother was Tamar, in the genealogy of Jesus Christ. The woman who wore widow's clothes, the woman who was sent home in shame, the woman who was nearly burned alive, her name, her own very name, is in the bloodline of the Messiah. God didn't just redeem her story, he immortalized it. And in the book of Ruth, when the people of Bethlehem blessed Boaz and Ruth, they didn't say, "May God bless you like Sarah." They said, "May your house be like the house of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah." Tamar became a standard of blessing. She became a byword for the favor of God breaking through impossible circumstances. Here are 3 things the story of Tamar teaches us about how God turns shame into purpose. First, God sees what people overlook. Judah overlooked Tamar. Society overlooked her. But not once in this story does God say she is forgotten. Every injustice, every broken promise, every year she sat in widow's garments, God was watching, and he was working. Your name may not be on any VIP list right now. You may feel invisible, but you are never invisible to God. He is counting every tear. He is writing every chapter. Second, holy boldness is not the same as desperation. Tamar's actions were bold, yes. Controversial, yes. But she did not act out of bitterness. She acted out of a belief that she had a rightful place in God's story. Sometimes God is waiting for you to stop accepting the story other people wrote for you and step into the one he has already written. You are allowed to contend for your blessing. You are allowed to refuse the widow's garments someone else put on you. Third, and this is the one I need you to hear, shame cannot cancel your destiny. The enemy will use your past, your mistakes, your lowest moments, the things done to you and the things you've done to tell you that you were disqualified. But Tamar's name is in the genealogy of Jesus Christ. That is not a footnote. That is a headline. God does not write people out of his story. He writes them deeper in it. Even yours, no matter how messy it might be. Let that sink in. Before I go, I want to speak directly to someone watching this right now. You've been sitting in your version of widow's clothes. You've been waiting for a call that never came. You've been told by life, by people, maybe by your own inner voice, that your best days are behind you, that too much has happened, that you're too far gone. Tamar's story is God's answer to that lie. He sees you. He has not forgotten you. And just like Tamar, the very thing meant to erase your name, God is getting ready to write it somewhere eternal. Don't give up. Your Perez is coming. Your breakthrough has a name, and it is not shame. It is purpose. If this message touched you, like this video so more people can find it. Comment the word purpose below. Declare it over your own life today. Share it with one person who is in a waiting season right now. Subscribe and hit the bell. We go deep into stories like this every single week. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Take note, starting every morning, we'll be sharing a powerful series of deeper breakthrough and restoration prayers inspired by the story of Tamar. This is your moment to connect, grow, and step into divine restoration. Don't miss it. Join us and take back everything you've lost. I'll see you in the next one. Keep seeking, keep trusting. God is not done with your story.